Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
It's a brand new week of This Week in Crowder College right here on 91.7 FM. Adam Winkler here with you, joined once again this week by Nash Brodsky. He is the Assistant Director of Upward Bound out there at Crowder College. We'll also be joined here in a little bit by one of the students out there at the Upward Bound program, Quentin Pierce. And Nash, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Nash, before we get to Quentin, tell me what it's like to have a student like Quentin in the program.
Oh, Quentin's been amazing. I actually, before being the assistant director here, I actually got to teach a class last year on Intro to Engineering, and Quentin was actually one of my students here too, so it's wonderful. Yeah, Quentin's in our math science program. So he's actually a student that has expressed interest to going towards the math or science field. And so, yeah, it's amazing having him here. Quentin is actually a second-generation Upward Bound student, which is really cool. So he has a very good, unique perspective on our program.
Well, Quentin will bring you into the conversation here, and we appreciate you being with us. And just let us know, what do you love so much about the Upward Bound program out there at Crowder?
There's so many things about Upward Bound. The classes, the people, the memories that you make. All of it is amazing. It's difficult to pick just one thing, but everything up here, the main thing that I love about it is the trips that we take and the memories that we make with people. I know even from my parents' perspective, whenever they were in the program, they always loved going on the trips, and they actually met through Upward Bound. They weren't dating through Upward Bound, but they did meet here.
Well, tell me about what it's like there on campus throughout the week. And obviously, you get that college feel. And what's that like, just to kind of experience what college life is like right now?
Yeah, so on campus, we just go through regular classes. For example, currently I'm taking my core classes, English, science, math, and then I'm taking a research class. I'm taking graphic design this year, where we're able to work with lasers to just etch our own design into different things. Like I've made an ornament, and I'm currently working on a poster. But other than that, just being on campus is awesome. Being outside of the house and being able to be with my friends and just explore places where I otherwise wouldn't be able to is mind-boggling.
Well, I think one of the great things that Upward Bound does, and Nash, you can jump in on this as well, is when you get to be on a college campus, you get to be away from home for a few days. It kind of helps you learn about who you are and take more personal responsibility. And I think it really helps the kids as they dive into the college aspect or into the working world. I think they might be more self-confident because they've already done some of these things.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we see, there's a huge shock whenever a student moves away from home in the first place, let alone then goes straight into college and taking full class load. Learning how to balance that social aspect of my parents aren't here to help, migrate that versus, I'm on my own and I can learn how to do this in a very safe environment and navigate those situations where it's super comfortable. Then when they go to college, they're so much more successful because they're like, oh, I've already done this. I've had roommates from someone, maybe in a region I didn't know about. And honestly, those friendships really travel on too. I could think of a couple of our bridge girls who actually, they're going to Mizzou next year, and they're going to be roommates up there. And, that really helps as you're finding a lot of like-minded students, whether or not, they're even from your area. Those two girls go to totally different schools. They would have never known each other otherwise. But now they just took a really big school like Mizzou and made it really small. So they will be super comfortable and confident going into their freshman year of college.
Well, as we aired this interview, it's after June 29th, but you guys have a research symposium on the 29th, and I'll let you both kind of jump in there. Tell us about what the research projects are and what happens at that symposium.
Yeah, so those research courses like Quentin talked about, they will be all presenting their research for the summer. So like we have a habitat course that will be presenting some of their stuff on land management. Quentin, you want to talk about graphic design?
So with graphic design, we started off by learning principles because with anything new, you have to know how it works. So we learned the principles of design, learning different ways to make designs work. And then we moved on to the actual designs. As I talked about earlier with the ornament, we just took a small circle and put stuff into it that we wanted to be etched onto just a piece of wood. And so with that design process, we were able to just learn how that worked and learn what we could do with design. And now we're working on posters, which takes the same idea and puts color and form into it, which form is just making objects look three-dimensional, even when they really aren't. So we're able to make so many different things with the posters and with the ornaments and really anything that you want to design.
And so with our undergrad research symposium, the real thing is that as an undergraduate, if these students want to go and pursue a higher degree in education, this is very closely to what it would look like if they were to go towards a research or scientific or even the English side of a college for, an upper level degree. So if they wanted to pursue a master's.
I talked to Jorge Zapata recently. He's with the ag department out there at Crowder College, and he said one of his students over the years has traveled 15,000 miles with the ag department, getting to go on certain travel seminars and certain trips. And that's something that the Crowder is known for, that you want to give these kids these great life experiences. And Quentin, you mentioned it, traveling is one of those great things you guys get to take a part of. Denver last year, Nash, you mentioned Florida a couple years ago, Chicago this year. And these kids are getting to go places they might never get to go, but because of Crowder College, because of the Upward Bound program, you guys get to experience these great things at a young age. And Quentin, just tell me more about that and what you find so amazing and fun about those trips.
So with Upward Bound, we're able to go places that I otherwise wouldn't be able to because I don't really have the time or the money to spend on a big trip to one place. Mm-hmm. I'm normally here in where we just stay home and don't really do much. But with Upward Bound, we're able to go out and have these experiences that we otherwise wouldn't. Like with Denver last year, we did so many different things. Like Nash talked about, we went up to the mountains and we did a lot of exploring and a lot of walking. But more than that, we even did a few educational things, and we even went to visit the college around there.
Well, it's just an amazing program and providing the students a lot of benefits here throughout the area. It's the Upward Bound program out there at Crowder College. We've been talking with Nash Brodsky. He is the assistant director of Upward Bound out there at Crowder. Also, Quentin Pierce. He is a student in the Upward Bound program. And guys, thank you so much for being with us on This Week in Crowder College.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.